is 5:00 p.m. I will call the December 21st, 2020 Board of Commissioners meeting to order, and I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Present.
Commissioner Tippett,
Here, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Commissioner Wisman,
Present.
Commissioner Sauer,
I like that. Merry Christmas. And yes, I'm here.
Mayor May.
I am here, and Merry Christmas as well, and any other, and Happy Holidays to anyone who celebrates something other than Christmas. City Manager?
Mayor, looking at the agenda, talking with staff, we need to pull number 11 from the agenda. It's not exactly ready yet.
Oh, okay, City of Frankfort Broadway Park, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any objections without any? All right, we'll remove
Why
that
don't you
one.
go pull Greg McCulloch?
We can do that later, Mayor.
Yeah. All right. All right, first item would be citizen comments. City Clerk, do you have, gotta find everybody on the screen here. There you go. City Clerk, do you have citizen comments?
I do. I have one comment that was sent to you all earlier.
Okay.
You want me to go ahead and read it, Mayor?
Oh, yes, please. I'm so sorry. Yes, please. Go ahead and read, please.
It's okay. Okay, this is from Mike Fitzpatrick. He says, Roy Pulliam, Vietnam veteran, retired firefighter, EMT, paramedic, lobbied for years to incorporate paramedicine within Franklin County. Along with two others, he was named the first paramedic to serve in this county. He then became the emergency medical services director for our city. The entire county of Franklin owes him a debt of gratitude. Without him, our EMS system would not be what it is today. Ted Evans spent years serving the City of Frankfort Police Department, then was hired as police chief in 1983 and served until 2004. Under his watch, our public safety became a priority, and he modernized our department with better education, training, equipment, and manpower. John Mason, Korean and Vietnam War veteran, employed as a police officer at Kentucky State University, working his way up to police chief. Chief Mason was police chief for 13 years at KSU. Jewett Cottle, George Cook, Stuart Hostler, Miles Ragland, James Sharp, and Elmer Watson paid the ultimate sacrifice serving their country during World War I. 46 Franklin County residents paid the ultimate price during serving their country during World War II, attached, which he has an attachment with this as well. Henry May and Edward Wilson paid the ultimate sacrifice serving their country during the Korean War. Frank Bronner, Donald Gay, Thomas Harp, David Hawkinsmith, George McNeese, and James Moore paid the ultimate sacrifice serving their country during the Vietnam War. Here is a list of about 100 individuals who sacrificed their adult lives to maintain public safety, and some of them gave their lives. I hope these individuals will be considered when we start naming public safety buildings in downtown Frankfort. And that is from Mike Fitzpatrick, and I do have a list of names. I guess I should read with it. It was an attachment. So this is World War II Franklin Countians who gave the ultimate sacrifice. John Allen, Leon Atma, George Blevine, and I'm sorry if I'm messing up the names, Shirley Brewer, Lane Dunn, Albert Easley, James Estel, Earl Florian, Percy Gordon, Richard Gordon, Leslie Gross, Arthur Hall, William Hayes, Sanford Hearn, K.W. Hawkinsmith, Edward Hoover, William Ennis, Curtis Johnson, John Johnston, Joseph Kelly, Arthur Kendall, Robert Landrum, Herman Lyon, Boyd Mahoney, James McCann, Warren McDonald, Bert McKee, David McNamara, Lonnie Metz, Russell Monroe, John Greer, Alvin Pointner, Marshall Puckett, Holly Rice, James Samples, James Satterwhite, Jeff Slavin, Charles Spalding, Cloyd Stratton, Robert Tillett, Willard True, George Truell, Floyd Utley, Warman Warford, Charles Wynn, and Frank Woodyard. And again, I apologize if I mispronounced any of those names. And that was it.
All right, that was it? Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, next on the agenda is a presentation by Greg McClavick from Charles T. Mitchell, and he's going to give us the audit report. There's Mr. McClavick. Good to see you, sir. Always glad to see you. This will be my last audit report with you, so I won't get to ask you all the fun technical questions I do just to keep you guys on your toes that I know you always know the answer to.
Well, I appreciate it, Mayor. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all having me. You all should have the audit report, all 79 pages of it in front of you. The main thing I want to say is that we've issued a clean opinion, which is always very important. You all did have some governmental funds that we tested on what they call uniform guidance. You had Tiger grant money that you had this year. You had a couple of transit grants that came in this year. But if you look at your audit report, the first couple pages are the management's discussion analysis, and I won't go through any of those numbers because that is basically a layperson should be able to read that and know what's in this report. On page 10, I do want to point out just a couple of things. On page 10, about 2/3 of the way down, there is the net pension liability and the net OPEB, which is the health insurance liability portion of the retirement. That's up about $6 million from last year. Again, this is just part of CERS and its ongoing fight to get funded. I just point that out just to show what you owe. The only way this would affect your budget in the future would be if they raise your contribution rates for hazardous and non-hazardous employees. If you want to turn to page 12, this is what I'd like to go over a little bit more in depth. This is the general fund and other governmental funds, which do not include the sewer funds. And I'll just discuss a few of the numbers and how they change from one year to another, if you allow me. The general fund, which is what you're primarily concerned with, your cash was down just a little bit, but your investments were up. That's basically you move some money into investments to earn some more money. Accounts receivable was down about $200,000 to about $575,000. Your restricted assets were up. Cash and cash equivalents and investments were up about $55,000, and actually hardly no money goes in there. It's just what the accounts have earned. So your total assets in the general fund are about $28.2 million. If you look at your liabilities, your accounts payable is down a little bit. These are items that were due as of June 30th for services that were rendered, that most of them were paid in July. Your accrued expenses are up quite a bit, and there's just in that number, the $1,018,000 number, there was a $500,000 retirement contribution that was paid in July, so that was accrued correctly. And then you had, I believe, 8 out of 14 days of payroll that were accrued as well, just for payroll ended in middle or first week of July. So a portion of that was actually due in June. So at the very bottom under fund balances, we'll talk about those numbers. Your unassigned funds are about $18 million. Restricted funds, which were the two numbers up there under restricted assets that can't be used for anything else, is about $4.8 million. Your assigned funds is made up of two numbers, and that's in the notes in the back in the back of the financial statements. That is made up of $1.4 million of encumbrances, which is basically reserving funds that were going to be used knowing in the next few months. And then you had $3.5 million of accrued compensated absences, vacation time, and the like, just to assign money of part of your fund balance to show it's going to be used for that probably in the future. The other governmental funds, those are made up of all your special revenue funds from capital improvements, your municipal aid fund, back on page, I'll give you exact, back on page 65 is going to show what's made up of those, made up telecommunications stack, tourism building, etc. And in those, your total assets, other governmental funds, about 7.5 million. And you can see what's restricted. As usual, anything that's been set up as a special revenue fund is usually restricted or assigned for a certain purpose. That's your assets. And then if you skip a page and go to page 14, this is basically the income statement. It's going to show revenues and expenses for the general fund and all the other governmental funds. So I'll run down a few of these. Your total revenues is 35 million. Your taxes were up 152,000. Occupational receipts up 223,000. Charges for services were up 300,000. Interest income was down a little bit. Your intergovernmental was down about 500. That's basically your grant funds, some of them. The total revenue is 35 million. Total governmental funds revenue was $38 million. Then if you look down at your expenditures, total expenditures 33 million. Other governmental funds was 4.2 million. Total expenditures was 37.3 million. So your excess, or what I like to call net income for the city of Frankfort, not including the sewer fund, was 844,000. And then you also had some transfers in under total other financing sources and uses. And one of the numbers that was quite large last year was the sale of the Gooch House. When I say last year, I mean 6/30/18. That was $500,000. This year it's only 100,000, but that's, you sold a house on Curator Court, so you had some money come from that. So that's why if you look at last year, you'll see a big difference, but that's pretty obvious. So your net change in fund balances for the city of Frankfort, not including sewer funds, was almost $1.4 million. So I can go over the sewer funds if you like. As you know, the sewer funds, everything stays in the sewer fund. Does anybody have any questions on all that? I mean, like I said, I talk fast and I don't mean to, but I know this is a lot of information. I'm sure everybody read through this on the weekend and made plenty of notes to ask me, but fire away if you have anything. I'll do my best to answer.
Any commissioners have any questions for Mr. McClovick, who always does a tremendous job for us?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Wisman.
Mr. McClovick, could you just express the CARES funding, how that's notated? I believe we got that before the June 30th.
The CARES funding?
$4 million.
I don't believe y'all got any. Oh, you got.
Maybe not.
You only got $39,000 at June 30th.
Okay.
Most everything that you have received was afterwards. After that, from talking to Alicia, it was a majority of it was after that.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to notate.
Yep.
Yeah, that is correct, Commissioner Wisman. The majority of the money we've gotten is in fiscal year 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Did anybody else have their hand up? I've got a lot of screens here.
I wouldn't mind going over the sewer fund, Mayor, if we just have a quick minute.
You want to go to the sewer?
Go ahead.
If we have
Thanks.
a moment.
Please. Go ahead.
Okay. On page 16, this is basically the balance sheet of the sewer, and this is what is an enterprise fund or a proprietary fund. So it's basically run like a business. It's a little different than the general fund. Anything that's in the sewer fund basically has to be spent. All the fees and everything that you all receive has to be spent on infrastructure or operating of it. So if you look at the total current assets, it's about $24.4 million. You have some restricted fund assets, which are restricted assets, which is the self-insurance and workers' comp portion of for the sewer, and that's about 6.7 million. And then your capital assets, that's basically vehicles and infrastructure, plants and everything like that. So your total assets of the sewer fund is almost 116 million. Obviously, it costs quite a bit to operate that, as well as fund your infrastructure. As you know, the large EPA decision that you are paying. So if you look down under the current liabilities, your current liabilities that's going to be paid in the next year is about 3.7 million. You'll be paying KIA back 817,000, and bonds you'll be paying about 2 million back. And then obviously the other portion of that is your bonds payable, about 15.8 million, and KIA long term is about 20.2 million. If you go down to under net position, this is basically what's left over after you have all your assets minus your liabilities, and you're invested in capital assets net of the related debt that you all have used to build that infrastructure is 45.8 million. And the restricted funds of 6.8 million is basically ties exactly to what the under restricted assets up under the non-current, that's the same number. So your unrestricted money is about $23.1 million. Now I'll say that's, anything like that is going to stay in the sewer fund and be used to operate. The next page is your income statement. And it's going to show your user fees of 11.1 million. That's up a little bit, about 100,000 from last year. Your dump fees are down about 400,000, but that was to be expected. I believe it's Buffalo Trace, so it's not paying as much now. That's about 2 million. So your total operating revenues is about 13.2 million. Your expenses are they're about $30,000 different from last year, almost 9.2 million. So your operating income was $4 million. You all had some grants, you paid some interest expense. So your total non-operating revenues, there was actually some expenses, was 527,000. And then you also paid the general fund $450,000. And so your change in net position or net income was about $3 million. And that's really all I have on the sewer. I won't go through the cash flow statement, but the rest of the statement is basically the notes to the financial statements, which basically make up more information for you to use to review this. And then you have required disclosures for the general fund versus the budget for the year, and then everything associated with the net pension liability and OPEB liability.
All right. Great report as always. I always agree less is more. And if people have questions, they can ask those. But I mean, the document speaks for itself. Again, we have a great financial position. And we appreciate the work that you and your colleagues do at Charles T. Mitchell Company.
Can I make one point? I'd like to thank the finance staff. To be honest with you, when you had some transition across multiple offices, and for Alicia to take over, and she did a fantastic job. And I have to point out Angie and Kim and Jessica and working in the finance and getting me information makes my job a lot easier, and as well as Frida and Kathy. They certainly helped me get this done, and certainly I can't thank them enough, to be honest with you. They do a great job, as I'm sure you all know.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you saying that too.
Thanks, Greg.
Welcome.
I'm looking on the screen. Everybody's really spread out tonight. All right.
Mayor, if I may.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to say I was looking forward to this. Actually, the sewer revenue, we have been spending significant amounts of funds this last 2 years. It seems like every meeting we're authorizing another multi-million-dollar expenditure to repair our our sewer infrastructure, which is over 100 years old in some places. And I was anxious to see what our position was, and we're in a better position than I even imagined that we were. So this is a good exercise every year, obviously, and a mandatory one, but it speaks to the competency of some of our staff in doing their jobs and saving funds, particularly the sewer department. I'm very proud of the director over there and the amount of funds he's been able to save project after project. It shows in this document, I think. So thanks.
And this also, it's after spending $6.1 million in cash and paying back $2 million. Now you borrowed $2 million from KIA, but you're right. It's not an easy, especially when you're under such a large EPA notice to spend the money. So it's not an easy way to operate when you have to spend money, but you've been able to get the funds to pay for it and have had the money sitting there in reserve to use. So that is good.
Yes, thank you. Well, we heeded your advice from last year. We did spend some of that, as you will see. So we appreciate your comments last year. I mean, you could see that we have still been good stewards with taxpayers' dollars, increasing the reserve account to an all-time high while accomplishing many wonderful projects for the community. So thanks for your diligence in helping remind us that sometimes we need to do some projects instead of just sitting on those dollars.
Mayor.
Commissioner Sauer.
Yes, may I add, we also lowered the tax rate this past year.
Absolutely.
So we're in good shape.
Thank you for reminding us. All right, any others? All right, thank you very much, Mr. McClavick.
Thank you all. Have a good meeting.
Thank you. You can stay on here. I don't blame you. Thank you. All right, let's see. We have next our good friend, Mr. Sam Marcus from the Franklin County Humane Society to do a virtual groundbreaking.
Hello, everybody. Want to thank you, first of all, for allowing me to be a part of this meeting this evening. And quickly, before I speak on behalf of the Humane Society, I want to just say for myself personally, want to thank Mayor May and Commissioners Sauer, Tippett, and Wisman for your service to the city of Frankfort and our community. Your dedication in making our great community an even better place. So really thank you for your service.
Well, that's very nice of you. We appreciate those nice remarks.
You're very kind, Sam.
So on behalf of the Humane Society, I'd like to start out by saying that although it's a bit of an understatement to say that 2020 was a challenging year. For the Humane Society, there were a lot of good things. And just quickly, I'd like to point out a few other than the obvious one that the reason I'm here tonight. But first and foremost, this year we were able to have live animal outcomes of 95%. That is the first time in our 75-year history that we've achieved that mark. And we want to celebrate that and certainly thank our manager, Carrie Lowry, and our staff for their efforts to be able to do that, and especially to do that during 2020 of all years. And speaking of staff, we were fortunate too to be able to keep all our staff safe from COVID. And again, that's a tribute to them, that they sacrifice themselves and their personal lives to do the right thing and keep themselves healthy. And we're really very happy with that, and thrilled to be able to say that. Another great thing that happened for us this year is we instituted a program called All the Cats. And so thanks to grant funding and generous donors like Richard and Anna Marie Rosen, we actually offered a program for 2020 where any residents of Frankfort and Franklin County could get their cats fixed for no charge. Now you can imagine that was a tremendously successful program, very popular. We actually normally would do about 250 cat surgeries, spay-neuter surgeries in a year. We set a goal of 400, and it looks like we're going to do about 600. So, it's great success, and in fact, successful enough that we are, I can announce here tonight that we're going to continue that program for 2021. So that'll again be a community-wide program. And then, of course, the big thing that we're celebrating, and it seems like forever ago, but it was this year, and that was your commitment as the mayor and the city commission to fund the new shelter building project with a contribution of $1 million. And your belief in the project has, and of course the county and some generous donors, the fiscal court, your belief in our project has enabled us to kick off our capital campaign this year. And we had a goal of $1.6 million. We are a little less, we're a little less than $1.2 million still away from our goal. So we've got a ways to go. But we're making our best efforts, and at any rate we want to celebrate tonight that you believed in our project and you're willing to fund it to the extent that you did. And so I'll have to improvise a little bit with the virtual groundbreaking considering the circumstances, but we've all done that all year, right? So let me see if I can do this here. I'll have to move in place a little bit. Couldn't bring a shovel. So what I've got with me is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but here's what I've got.
Looks like a hoe.
And I guess you'll forgive me, but considering the week that it is, I'll start the virtual groundbreaking by saying, ho, ho, ho. And so, speaking of that, we are looking for Santa Clauses. We've got a long ways to go in this fundraising. So this is kind of a way early groundbreaking, but we're looking for Santa Clauses, and you all are welcome. Anybody watching, please contact me personally, or you can contact me at fchscapitalcampaign@gmail. That's fchscapitalcampaign@gmail. I will be glad to respond, and we will certainly accommodate you in any way for your donation toward the new building fund. I want to thank everybody again for what you've done. Wish everybody all the best for Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we hope to have a real groundbreaking next summer. Our goal is to break ground in July 2021, and we sure hope we can all do that in person, celebrate together.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, for your leadership as head of the President of the Humane Society for these last few years. You've taken the agency, the organization in a very positive direction. We appreciate that. It's important. Having grown up in downtown Frankfort, down the street from Mrs. Irene Miller, I learned at an early age as a neighborhood kid there to be supportive of humane treatment of animals. She taught us all well. I'm not sure if you had a chance to meet her. I know your parents knew her. You may have, but living in that neighborhood was a real treat to hear some of those wonderful stories. But she would be very proud of this moment as we move forward, and to be able to see the new shelter is something that's going to be a positive addition to our community. And we thank all who have worked so diligently to take care of the animals in our community.
Mayor.
Commissioner Tippett?
Yeah, I just, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge, I'll call him Sam because we do the literally together at the gym instead of Mr. Marcus. We need to acknowledge his perseverance and his, deep abiding faith in what he was doing. And I'm not sure who else could have pulled off what he has pulled off, but we should acknowledge him. And thanks for your Herculean effort, Sam.
Here, here.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes, I know that you'd left me off as I'm not an outgoing commissioner. I'll be here the next 2 years being able to work with you. I will continue to support the animal shelter as I have. And I look forward to working with you guys in the next couple of years as you break ground and move forward with this project. I have many people that I love and respect on your board, and some really good friends that I've discussed this project with over and over. John Hibbert, Fred Deaton, Ray Smith, and to name a few. Also Matt Fury. I've spoken with several of them, but respect a lot of people on your board and know that they will continue moving the animal shelter in the right direction. So you will continue to have my support as the animal shelter and the Humane Society of just working together as one in Frankfort. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Waldridge, and certainly didn't mean to leave you off, other than, as you said, wanted to thank the outgoing mayor and commissioners. But we appreciate your support, and we'll look forward to working with you in the new year and the new commission as well. And thank you all for the very kind comments. We haven't gotten it done yet, though, so we'll celebrate when we do.
Thanks. I think Commissioner Sauer.
Yeah. Mayor, I want to join you in commending Sam for his dedication and his leadership with the Humane Society. Sam, you've gone through thick and thin, and sometimes it's gotten pretty thin, Sam. And you're outlasting us all, Sam. I see Sam running from here to there, and he's in good shape. And I understand running is good for the soul, Sam. And you are a good soul, and we appreciate your help in this endeavor. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And Commissioner Sauer, I know you remember, because we grew up in the same neighborhood, I know you remember Irene Miller too.
Yes, you're right, Mayor.
Be proud of
dedication.
Yes, she'd be proud of your support of this too. Commissioner Wissman, did you had your hand up?
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to echo your comments, all of your comments. Obviously, Mr. Marcus, this would not have happened without your leadership and your dedication to the project, but I am proud of this commission and the work we've done to start the ball rolling. I remember, volunteering at the animal shelter 20 years ago in high school, 20 plus years ago, and the deplorable condition it was in then, which has been band-aided and fixed up by you and the staff for all these years, when it should have been replaced all along. And I'm proud to have been part of that effort that is going to move that forward. But congratulate you, because without you and your board, we would not see the progress that we're having. So thank you again. And I'm very excited about the trajectory that the Humane Society's been having this year. Perhaps COVID has given us a rare opportunity to reevaluate our programs and do things even better than we have before. I'm hopeful anyway. And some of your numbers that you just mentioned are really incredible, and will serve our community well into the future. So thank you.
Thank you all again very much.
You're welcome. You can stand here with us if you want. It's nice seeing your face there. That's a long time. All right. Next item would be consent calendar. So I'll call on the city manager to read the consent items, please.
Thank you, sir. Number one is minutes from November 6, 2020 special meeting, November 11, 2020 special work session, November 23rd, 2020 special regular meeting. Number two, Tiger Project. The 2nd Street Tiger Project's final design has been completed and a construction contractor has been awarded a contract. There's an amendment to that contract, amendment number 3 to the February 11, 2019 Strand Associates Agreement is for $646,824. This request is also for the mayor to sign all related documents. Number 3, Walker Consultants Scope and Fee Proposal Downtown Parking Management Study. The purpose of this agenda item is to seek commission approval of a scope and fee agreement with Walker Consultants for a downtown parking management study and to authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. The recommendation is for approval of the scope and fee agreement with Walker Consultants in the amount of $48,540 for the parking study and for the mayor to sign all related documents. Number 4. The purpose of this memo is to request the purchase of one 2020 Ram 1500 Classic Special Service Vehicle 4x4 utilizing funds from the general fund and to authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. Total cost for one vehicle will be $30,807. It will be purchased from the general fund from account 530.90.56551. Number 5, personnel action. Appointment, Leslie O'Banion, Sewer Tech 1. Appointment, Nicholas McGahee, Sewer Tech 1, effective 12/8, both of those. Appointment, Skippy Riado, Sewer, 1/5 of 21, Maintenance Tech 1. Retirement, Jonathan Fields, Police, effective 12/31/20, Police Lieutenant, authorized payout of accrued leave. Resignation, Wes Clevenger, Fire and EMS, effective 12/24/20, Firefighter 2, authorized payout of accrued leave.
All right, we've heard the consent items.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Wissman.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Waldridge. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, no. All those who signified their presence tonight will be considered to vote in the affirmative on the consent items unless they file vote modification forms. I believe we have none. Again, want to thank and recognize Jonathan Fields for his years of service to the Frankfort Police Department. He has always been a fine example of what it means to be a police officer. We'll miss him, but want to say thanks to him for his years of service to the community. Look forward to his future contributions. Same for Wes Clevenger. I guess I've known him since he was a grade school with Kelly, and he's been a tremendous asset to our fire and EMS squads department. He's received numerous awards for life-saving, and we wish him well in his future endeavors too, and thank him for his service. And welcome to our new employees in our sewer department. Next, we have an reappointment of Henry Scott Hankla to the Forestry Advisory Board. He's served before and would ask that we reappoint.
Mayor, I'll move to approve.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner, second by Commissioner Sowers. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wissman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, and thank you. And we thank Mr. Hankla. Next item would be second and first readings. Would ask that the solicitor read item number 1 by title and summary only, please.
An ordinance to amend the City of Frankfort's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 152, by amending Article 4.41 of the zoning regulations regarding special capital districts. This ordinance amends the city's zoning ordinances, Article 4.412, special capital districts, by classifying churches as a permissible conditional use within the district.
All right. Entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Waldridge,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sauer. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Commissioner, your mic is muted, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, item is adopted. Next, would the solicitor read item number 2 by title and summary only, please.
An ordinance amending Section 131.05 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances regarding wearing hoods and masks. This ordinance amends Section 131.05 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances, restricting the wearing of masks and hoods to exempt any person wearing a mask for health or medical reasons, including but not limited to during a public health emergency for which masks are recommended or required.
I move to approve, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Waldridge. Did I hear Commissioner Wiseman? Did you second?
Yes.
That was a quick one. Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, I will say too, and I was one of the original members when we adopted that ordinance many years back for various reasons, and it's funny, not funny, but interesting to come around to where we have to have an exemption due to a pandemic. So it's a shame, but hopefully a few more months, folks, a few more months, we'll get through it. Next item, number 3, read by title and summary only, please.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 12, 2020 series, appropriating the revenue to be received by the City of Frankfort for the fiscal year 2020-2021. This ordinance amends ordinance number 12, 2020 series, appropriating the revenue to be received by the city for the fiscal year 2020-2021 by adding the following expenditures. General Fund 100, Historic Preservation Officer salary, $43,000. Frankfort Independent Schools, $72,000. ROSM, $100,000. Executive Order Boxcar, $25,000. Executive Order Emergency Shelter Renovation Commitment to the Simon House, $100,000. Purchase of property at 221 West 2nd Street, $390,000. Contribution to the Franklin County Humane Society, $1 million. Contribution to the Senior Citizen Center, $25,000. Capital Improvement Fund, $530,000. Additional expense for stage, $30,000. Transit van, $47,400. Transit camera system, $41,700. Fort Hill Park Fund, $520,000. Purchase of acreage at Mural Street, $15,000. Sewer Fund, $300,000. Purchase of property at 600 Shinkle Lane, $550,000. Purchase of dump truck, $99,900. And by adding the following revenue: Capital Improvement Fund, $530,000. Transit van reimbursement, $47,400. Transit camera system reimbursement, $41,700.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Wiseman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sauer. Thank you. Any discussion?
Mayor, I do have a question and clarification.
Commissioner Wiseman, yes.
If we have our finance director perhaps on here. Last meeting, there was a discussion about additional expenditure for the stage that is $155,000 total, I believe, but a $30,000 additional budget amendment. Perhaps Miss Boyd or Miss Maxwell, we did as a commission approved to make an additional expenditure over the original allotment for that, correct? Ms. Maxwell, could you tell me what date that was, if you have that? And
Sure, May. I know that if you don't mind. So
Okay.
the first, the amendment came in February for 125,000, of course, and that was the number I was working from. And then in April 27, you guys approved almost 154,000 for the stage, but unfortunately, I did not have that number. I was given that budget amendment, and I rolled with that budget amendment. So that's all it is. It's just the difference between the
Right.
the original 125 and what you actually approved, which was close to 154,000 in April. So.
And Miss Boyd, when I came into your
Actually,
office and we discussed that,
Mr. Waldridge, Commissioner Wisman still
I'm
asking.
sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't
Commissioner
really
I
have
Wisman.
just
another
wanted to
question.
Okay.
verify that, because there was that question presented last time about an improper expenditure of funds to pay for the stage. We did allocate up to the full $154,000 purchase price at a meeting in April. I believe that motion, even though it was questioned at our last meeting, was made by, or the motion to approve was made by Commissioner Waldridge and was passed unanimously 5-all by the board. Is that correct, Ms.
That is
Maxwell? or Ms.
correct.
Boyd?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Wisman, you directing your question to,
Ms. Maxwell, Ms. Boyd, either one that may recall. I believe Ms. Maxwell just pulled that up for us last week.
Yes, that is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. I just wanted everyone to know that there was no impropriety, that was fully vetted, and we did make the additional allocation for the expenditure. There was nothing improper, and no one went unilaterally and made an expenditure above what was allowed and approved by the commission. And Commissioner Waldridge, in fact, did make the motion to approve that, even though she questioned at our last meeting whether the expenditure was legal. So I just wanted to verify that. Thank you all.
okay, thank you. Commissioner Waldridge.
Thank you, Eric, for definitely following up on that. I already had that all cleared up, and I've already met with Miss Boyd in her office and discussing to make sure, because I don't think that I really implied that. What I said was I needed understanding, and if things that you guys would put on the commissioners and the mayor that would put on the agenda would actually break down the way that it should be, there would have been never question. But again, there's always things on our agenda that is never fully vetted or ever provided until the last minute. So that's why the question was there. And as a commissioner, I followed up with our staff to make sure that was clear. And you are correct. I did purchase, and I made the motion because it was supposed to be, I believe, for a handicap ramp and a couple of other things to prevent people from falling off of the back of the stage. However, the reason for my question in that, it was not, number one, laid out, and Ms. Boyd apologized and said maybe it should have been laid out, and that's understandable because we get things from this commission at the last minute, so it wouldn't be on you. But the reason why I did question it was because the infractions and emails that I received in regards to the mayor trying to spend another $20,000 on a backdrop that it never came across our commission. So there are some reasons on why I asked those questions, though you make it seem like I didn't. And I'm always known to come back and correct my wrongs if it was. And yes, I did move to do that. However, my questions became because there was the reasons of trying to spend the city's money during this COVID process and the pandemic without the $20,000 in the email, which was requesting for Ms. Hecker to pay for a PO that no one knew anything about but the mayor. But we already discussed that in another meeting and cleared that up, but I just wanted to make sure that was not supplying the money to that. But thank you anyways, I appreciate that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to respond to that. That was sent, that was an item on the agenda, Commissioner Waldridge. So that would have gone through the proper channel. It was on the agenda in, I don't remember which month it was. And we passed over it at that point because we needed to get some clarifications on the amounts. Commissioner Tippett, did I see your hand? Oh, you're just grabbing a drink. All right.
Mayor, if I may, I
Commissioner Wisman.
just wanted to say, I think it's very evident by our financial evaluation tonight that we've been a fantastic steward of funds, and we've been able to work to support some critical projects and some necessary upgrades and some quality of life expenditures that are going to make living and working and visiting our community much more favorable in the future. And as evident in this this budget amendment tonight, we are making some real strides and steps forward for our community, regardless of accusations of impropriety and other things that have came out that are baseless, unfounded, and beneath the position of this commission. So I am proud of our efforts, and I just ask for a vote, please.
All right, thank you. Any others? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
I'm going to vote no, though it comes down, I'll explain my vote. It's 1 to 5, and I'm going to vote no because of number 1, the boxcar of $25,000. I think that was a waste of city's money, and I still cannot approve anything that where we have wasted the city's money and gathered nothing for that. We could have done so much for our businesses or people in our community with the $25,000 than wasted on boxcars. So I will have to vote no on this one.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Yes, and I would just like to state that, I am one of, as we all are, one vote, and a majority makes policy. So anyone can vote however they like, but I think our efforts have been beneficial to our community in every way and consistent and intentional. So yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, and I'm proud to vote for giving $100,000 to ROSM to help with needy families in our community, which this is part of, and also for $1 million to the Humane Society, as well as purchasing property that helps our sewer department. So I'm very happy to support those projects. And thank the commission for supporting those too. Commissioner Wiseman.
Mayor, I just have a question for our city manager. Now that we've had a second reading and approved for the ROSM $100,000 allotment, we put a notice on our Facebook page the other day about how needy citizens in the community can access those funds. Could we push that out again and make sure that folks are able to immediately access that pot of money that are in need, that need assistance for their utility bills and rent and otherwise?
Absolutely, sir.
And how fast, I'm assuming our finance staff can get those funds over almost immediately at this point, now that we've approved, so that they're available immediately to assist those in need.
We've actually already cut the check.
Terrific.
I assume it's gone out in the mail. We've already done that. So they should, I don't think they came and got it, but it should be in the mail if they didn't. So.
Terrific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank Commissioner Sauer.
You're on top of things, Ms. Boyd. You're just on top of things. Thank you for your work.
So I just also meant to say too, I was proud to support the $25,000 and thank you the commissioners for voting for that as well to support to our senior citizens. All right, let's see. So next item would be second reading on item number 4. Could we read that by title and summary only, please?
An ordinance amending the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances, Section 37.02, relating to personnel definitions. This ordinance amends the definition of seasonal employee in Section 37.02 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances to subdivide seasonal employees into 2 categories. Seasonal 1, employees who work 9 or less months in a fiscal year and less than 1,500 hours in a calendar year and do not otherwise qualify as seasonal 2. And B, seasonal 2, employees with 3 or more consecutive years of service who are in the positions the department head has determined to require specialized training and or certifications.
I move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Waldridge, second by, was it Commissioner Wiseman or Commissioner Sauer? Commissioner
Wiseman, I'll second.
Okay. All right, any questions on this item? All right, seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, item is adopted. Next item would be to declare surplus the parks equipment, the old playground equipment at Dolly Graham Park. It can't really be salvaged or reused because of the danger of removing it could damage it, so it needs to be surplus. If there's
Move
any
to approve,
questions.
Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Wiseman. Moved by Commissioner Wiseman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Waldridge. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, just to reiterate that we do have to surplus and ask for permission now from federal government to remove, but hopefully that can move forward as soon as January 1st when our grant kicks in, so that those funds that our staff are removing that can be used as match. And as you said, the existing equipment will have to be scrapped for safety concerns for scrap metal. I'm excited to see that move forward.
All right. Any
Call for
other
the
questions?
question, Mayor. Call for the question, Mayor.
All right, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, thank you. Next item would be approving a resolution for sign amendment number 3 with Strand Associates for support of the construction phase of the Second Street Tiger project.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Wiseman,
Second.
Second.
second by Commissioner Sauer. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiseman,
Yes, yet another project I'm very excited to see move forward.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, items adopted. Next is an order requiring all city employee salary increases deemed to be significant salary adjustments to be approved by the Board of Commissioners.
Mayor, I'll move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Wiseman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sauer. Any discussion?
Question, Mayor.
Commissioner Tippett.
Yes, could we get the city manager to give us a clarification on this and to maybe outline what he sees the specificity of this order would be?
You okay, Mayor, with that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry. I was looking on my other, I'm doing multiple screens trying to find the attachment. Go ahead, Commissioner.
So-
City Manager Russell.
I apologize, Mayor. So sitting in this chair right now, when I was looking at some of the things that come across the table and asked for raises and things of that nature, I did not see anything that was that would any checks and balances per se, that if it came across my desk, that anything I could find that said I could not give somebody a 50% raise or any raise more than $10,000 or something like that. So my suggestion is that any raise that's more than 20% or more than $10,000, I think that as far as I go, that information needs to go to you all. And if the employee is an outstanding employee and I need to make the fight for them, I will certainly make the cause for them. Just to have a little bit of checks and balances in here. There are a lot of small raises that go through here all the time, 1%, things like that. But we're talking significant raises and significant amounts of money. That's just where I thought that I would go with that. That made me feel better sitting in this chair, knowing that I would not pass something along to somebody that I felt like was, more than that amount, 20% or $10,000.
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Wiseman? Good.
Mayor, thank you. Yeah, I move to approve this. I still think this is probably a high amount, but we did have an instance where a former city manager, in spite of some of our comments, gave a $10,000 raise to an employee. And I think the oversight of all of that needs to belong to the commission. Those funds are sometimes scarce, and but I brought this up to City Manager Russell, and he'd already put together an order that had this amount reflected. So I think we move forward with this, and maybe it's altered by the future commission to some level. But we do need, I believe, a system of checks and balances in order so that folks can't come in and divvy out accolades and awards and to preferred staff over others without some system of check and balance. So.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes, I was going to add that I think that it is a little high. I think 10,000 is a little high. And I also think that there needs to be a check and balances with the city commission as well. Even if we move forward with this, I still think that an email, or maybe we can amend it to say an email or a report will come out monthly on what raises are below that he has given, to allow this commission to be aware of those raises. Though we don't have to approve them, we should be aware of those raises just for checks and balances. As the $10,000, 20% is quite a bit. You could give a $9,999 raise just to stay underneath of that 10,000. And I just think that within that, I think there needs to be maybe an amendment that we get a report, maybe an email or a follow-up on when raises are, maybe monthly, to the commission, so we can keep our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
City Manager, you want to respond?
Mayor, I have no issues with that, to be honest with you. I don't know about monthly, because I get a lot of raises that 1% and things of that nature go across through here all the time. Maybe a quarterly email, if that would suffice for you all. That way you can look back and see, and you would know exactly what significant raises are. 20% for some of the guys at parks or something like that don't make as much money as some other people. It's not anything that you all would look at or glance at. But I think that if I did it quarterly, I think Ms. Boyd, I don't think Ms. Boyd would mind, but she could put that together for us. I think she and Ms. Fields.
Thank you.
Commissioner Waldridge, did you have your hand up for further?
Yeah, I did. I was just going to say thank you. I'm okay with doing it quarterly, as I'm not sure when those smaller raises happen and how often, but I think, just to report out. And if you think that that's feasible and Ms. Boyd is able to handle that on her workload as well, to do it quarterly, I think that would be great. That's fine with me. Thank you.
Commissioner Wiseman?
Mayor, I think that's a procedural element that is not part of this order. That could be a directive by the next commission. The finance department already sends out a quarterly statement to us about our finances and expenditures. I think we move forward with this as it states tonight, and the new commission can bring this up and add it as appropriate. But I do think that there should be a better system of check and balance, and this is a step in the right direction. So ask that you call for the vote.
Okay. All right. Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Waldridge?
No, I'll just help assist with it with me being on the next commission. Thank you.
Commissioner Tippett?
I'm going to vote yes, and I'll explain my vote, please. I think it is a nod to transparency. It is a nod to open channels of communication between the city manager, the administrator, and the elected body. We have had some issues in the past where there wasn't full communication between the administrator and the elected body, and it caused some problems. So I think yes, the more communication that we can provide is good. And then, of course, we all know that the elected body, will vote and decide with 3 votes. So yes. I vote yes on this, and yes, the new commission can nuance it the way they choose to.
Commissioner Wiseman?
I'll vote yes as well, and say or explain my vote as well, that and echo Commissioner Tippett's comments. There should be regular open transparency and open communications between the commission and our duly sworn officer that imparts our activities and our directives. That has not been the case in the past, and it did cause a lot of issues and should not have been a problem. I think Mr. Russell has been very attentive and making sure that there is that regular communication about what's going on in the day-to-day activities at City Hall. So I think this is a step in the right direction, and sadly an unfortunate necessity in some ways, given some of our past performances. So yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
I'm going to vote yes and say, Mayor, that, should we want to tweak this or anything else at our next meeting next week, we can certainly do so.
Absolutely.
Mayor May.
Yes, and I'm going to vote yes too, because I've seen it abused by former city managers, where we had to find out from other employees who were upset about things when they found out about it. So it's a closing a situation, tightening things up, better transparency and openness, and making sure that the Board of Commissioners is kept in the loop. Let's see. Next item is an order regarding approval for the new city cash or investment accounts.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Wissman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Waldridge. Any discussion?
And
Yes,
I have
I'm
a
sorry. go
question
ahead.
for Ms. Boyd. Do I have the floor?
You do.
Okay. Can you just give me a quick, it doesn't have to, you don't have to be long, but help me understand this in lay terms. I'm assuming these investment accounts are all fixed instruments, right? We're not playing the stock market, right?
No, sir. It's typically CDs and money market accounts, and they're very conservative investments. Yes. What we're currently doing, yes, sir. Very conservative.
Follow-up question, Mayor.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I assume the FDIC doesn't apply to us, but is there some, insurance for CDs?
Well, actually, the FDIC does up to 250,000 for each bank, and then above that, in the audit for fiscal year 20, the one that you just received, there's a note that discusses FDIC plus pledges, and we were adequately pledged across all of our banks, along with the 250,000 in FDIC insurance. The banks have done a very good job of taking care of us, so we're good there as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, I saw multiple hands. I don't know who had their hand up first because I was writing. Do you all know who was first?
Mr. Sauer, I think, actually.
Commissioner Sauer.
Yes, Ms. Boyd, since we have you on the docket, approximately how many financial institutions do we have money in?
We currently, just in and around the city, use 8 different banks. And well, actually, that might be 7 because I may be counting Bank of New York. They handle our sewer bonds. So I don't recall right off. I know I counted 8, but that may also include Bank of New York as well.
Could we bid our money out and maybe get a slightly higher rate of interest in any of these banks?
Well, the bidding part, I'm not sure what to tell you on that part, without really just thinking about it and looking into it. However, I will tell you that because of the point that Commissioner Tippett made about the FDIC along with pledges, I'm not entirely sure we'd be able to find a bank that would want to take all of our money because they'd have to come up with all of those pledges and things, which is probably why it's been dispersed. Now, dispersed over 8 banks, I'm not sure that that's necessarily what we need, but we would probably not be able to or want to put all of our money in one bank. My guess is, without knowing a lot of the history behind that, that may be why it's the case the way it is now to begin with. So
Yeah, but in a bidding process, we could take the top 3 or 4 and maybe eliminate the others to the city's benefit. Just something to think about.
okay, I sure will, sir. Thank you so much for that tidbit.
Mayor, if I may.
Commissioner Westman.
You've answered some of the questions I had already, Ms. Boyd, but I'll just state that I think it prudent and impertinent upon us to try to maximize our returns on investment, right? And whether that is adding $1 million to a pot of money to create 10, so we maximize our investment returns. Those are discussions that the commission needs to have. I asked for an ordinance or an order similar to this some time ago, and I've been following up since $8.1 million of city funds was moved earlier this year without a finance director in place, with one signature, and without any overview or oversight or discussion by this body about maximizing our revenue. And it was done without even an RFP or multiple solicitations, just through phone calls. That's not the way we do business. And that's not the way that we should do business at the city of Frankfort. We need an open process, transparent, that tries to maximize our tax dollars and the return to our citizens in a way that we've not explored in a long time. I'm anxious and excited about the new commission coming in. I hope they will take up this task and review our financial position, because we can, as Mr. Commissioner Tippett brought up, do some investments now outside of the typical savings and bonding issues. Whether that's something our city wants to go into or not was yet to be seen. But at a minimum, creating one of those types of accounts should require 2 signatures from our city staff, our finance director, and our city manager, just as almost any banking account would do for a nonprofit or large corporation. I thought it very problematic that we could have, again, $8 million+ moved to city funds without a finance director, with one signature, and that just shouldn't have happened, even if it was above board, just for transparency's sake and full knowledge by the body. An email was sent, of course, to us after the fact, but that shouldn't happen. So I think, again, for openness, transparency, and just fiduciary responsibility, this is a effort or a step in the right direction. Commissioner Waldridge can laugh and disagree all she wants and be on the phone, but Mayor, I think this is a good action for us, and ask you to call for the vote on that as well.
All right. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge.
I will vote yes, and I'll explain my vote. My vote is yes, because I think that we need to have more balances, and I think the city manager working with the finance director will help with any things that would happen behind the board. One thing I will mention in all of this discussion and wanting to hear self speak is that taking cheap shots at past people who have continued to lead our city in the right direction is so unbecoming of men. I have never seen the like of cowardness acts toward our past city managers, as we should respect them as past city managers, Mayor, and we should make sure that we cut that off, especially when those city managers are not here to speak for themselves. It's just so cowardly and it's so unprofessional. But I do vote yes. I think we need to move in the right direction with our finances. There's a whole lot of going on with our finances, as well as when leadership is in power positions, how our finances are. So I will vote yes for this.
Commissioner Tippett.
I vote yes, and Mayor, I'd like to, in my vote, commend Ms. Boyd. She's an excellent employee. I rest easy at night knowing that she's in charge of our finances. Thank you.
Commissioner Westman.
Mayor, I'll vote yes, and I'll explain my vote as well. I never mentioned anyone by name or anything, but there have been actions under our watch that become our fiduciary responsibility that I questioned and disagreed with, and that is the basis for this order. So they're well within the scope of discussion and support of this action and the necessary or the need for this action. So yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, that order is adopted. Next would be item number 9, an order amending order number 11, 2019 series relating to procedures for meetings of the Frankfort Board of Commissioners.
Mayor, may I?
Move to approve.
I'm sorry. Moved by Commissioner Wissman.
I'm sorry, I came in first. I said, Mayor, may I? I said that first. I
I'm sorry,
believe.
Commissioner, when someone's making a motion, that takes precedence motion. So then we'll come back to
Said it after me.
the motion on the
Who
floor.
cares? Either way.
Commissioner, please. Needs a second. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mayor, for
Commissioner-
discussion purposes. Thank you.
All right, now Commissioner Waldridge.
Well,
Goodness gracious. Okay, this to me, as Commissioner Wissman has said quite a few times today in transparency and several times that the new commission needs to handle that business. I think this right here is prime example of where the commission really, the new commission needs to come in and set their own agendas and how they want to run agenda. I just don't understand, number one, how we as a commission who have left commissioners out of agenda items and not put things on there, submitted agenda items with no information submitted, that we think that it is okay for us to put this order and change some of the things that we need to do as far as agenda setting when we have not been able to uphold transparency. We've not been able to uphold working together as one board and working where all board members are aware of what is going on. And so I'm sort of baffled in why this commission thinks that we should set a standard for the new commission coming in. The new commission has a right to change whatever they want. And I think this is a prime example of what Mr. Wissman has, Commissioner Wissman has said the whole time is the new commission needs to set this. And furthermore, we've already voted on this once with this commission, and we voted on this. We voted on this when Mr. Parker was our city manager, and it was suffice. What I think, in my opinion, as commissioner that is going on is that we're trying to keep this good old boy system live and well in Frankfort. We're trying to silence a minority female commissioner, which has been going on for a while, and as well as trying to, I believe, silence other commissioners coming in. I think that in this instance, you are taking the voice away and the responsibility away from every single commissioner coming in, commissioner-elect. You're taking power away from them. They are a voice of the community. They have been voted by the community. That's why they're serving. And they should have a right to say yes or no, what goes on the agenda, especially giving 3, take a vote to move forward and to put something on the agenda. I don't think removing F, the Board of Commissioners may add or delete an agenda item at the meeting by majority of votes, should be deleted. It is our right and responsibility, as someone stated this evening, to make sure things are moving in the right direction, because I don't know mayor-elect moving in, but what I can experience is the mayor that I've experienced since I've served, and it has not been in the best interest of all commissioners or the community when it comes to agenda making. So we would not want to put that power in the hands of one particular person, or, excuse me,
Mayor,
or continue to take the,
Sorry,
or-
Commissioner, making a point. What's your point, Commissioner? That
point
takes-
of order,
or
Mayor.
continue to take the power away from the
I'm
city
sorry.
manager when we are a city manager ran government.
Waldridge is out
Or
of
a
order.
We are a city manager ran government.
Commissioner
I'm
Waldridge,
sorry.
point of order takes precedence right now. It's a Commissioner Sauer, have you been aggrieved?
I've been aggrieved by your comments, Commissioner Waldridge. They're unfounded, and it's it's a, let's not go down that rabbit hole, Commissioner.
Okay, as I was stating that, and I apologize if you feel that way, I've been aggrieved on this conversation. Not one time has the mayor spoke up, and not one time has he ever stood up for me being a woman being talked over. And it's only 9 days and 6 hours to deal with this. But I think this right here is a prime example of us trying to control the new commission and trying to keep things the way that we want them, scratching someone's back to scratch yours. So I don't think this is something we need to move forward. We need to table this and let the new commission coming in do what they need to do.
Mayor, Commissioner Waldridge, the new commission can do anything they want to. You're going to be the mayor pro tem of the new commission. And if you don't like what we've done, you can change it with a three vote majority. So, this is something that's brought before us. I think it's a good idea, the way it's worded. And you can change it next time. But we're going to serve, I'll speak for myself. I'm going to serve until December 31st at midnight, okay? And I hope we have another meeting so that we can do more in service of the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Listman.
Mayor, it's incumbent upon this body now to put forward the directives and the guidelines, if you will, to help the future thrive. I think we have experience. We have a situation where we've had just a really combative process since we took office of deciding how the agenda is established. I personally asked for things to be on the agenda before the emergency declaration that were never added when I asked the city manager. Other commissioners were immediately. That cannot be the process of government. And the fairest thing is to put the person who is the administrator of our meetings, the advisor and the regulatory body, if you will, to be the figurehead to work with the commission, as it states, the mayor with input from the board of directors or board of commission and the city manager will together develop the agenda. But it's been a problem consistently. Like I said, the combative nature of some commissioners has made it more difficult than it should be. And I think
I'm sorry, Mayor, you're going to speak on that?
I think this is
I'm bothered. I'm sorry. I'm offended.
Okay, you said your point. Do you have a point of order, Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes, he's speaking on commissioners being combative and things. That's sort of offensive.
Okay, Commissioner Listman, I don't believe directed that towards a member of the body.
Any name.
Commissioners as well, Ms. Mayor. I didn't say names.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, but I think this is a directive for the next commission that we believe is the right process and that will benefit our community to the best effect. Of course, the next commission has the authority to change anything they want to at any point in time. And any commissioner has the ability to bring up directives and changes as they please. But again, it takes a majority and a willingness to work with a body and to set your own ego and precedent aside to get the majority votes that you need for anything. So I wish everyone in the next commission luck to make those changes as they see fit. But of course, remember, you have to have 3 votes. And I think this is a positive step for the future to remove a lot of this vagueness that is instilled in our processes as current. Thank you.
Commissioner Tippett.
Yeah, I have a question, maybe directed to Ms. Ross. Maybe she'll be able to answer it.
Okay.
As I understand it, and I'll admit freely that I don't have a full grasp understanding of this, but this issue that we're discussing really is nothing new, and previous commissions, maybe 10 years, 12 years, 15 years back, used this form to set the agenda, and previous mayors, I'm thinking maybe Judge Wells had this in his tenure, maybe even Commissioner Sauer when he was mayor had this during his tenure. So this really isn't new. We're just discussing whether or not we think this is the best way to proceed. Am I understanding this correctly, Ms. Ross?
I believe it's correct that in the past there were instances where the mayor set the agenda. Is that what you were asking me, Commissioner?
And I was just using anecdotal memory as, you know, I've been here 60 years and I can't state it as a fact, but I believe when County Judge Wells was the mayor, this form of agenda setting was used by that commission. And also Commissioner Sauer can speak to that as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Sauer, you had your hand up.
Yes, I did as well, Scott, in my 4-year term as mayor, set the agenda. And of course, you confer with the members of the commission, or nothing gets done. You have to have 3 votes, right? Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Clerk,
May I
I'm
just
sorry.
make a clarification, if I may?
Okay.
City Solicitor, this does not preclude, even though a city commissioner or the mayor, sorry, sets the agenda, this does not preclude the Board of Commissioners from adding an agenda item by majority during the meeting, correct?
Correct.
I actually thought we took that part out. No.
Well, under rules of procedure, if members of the commission want to add an item during a meeting, when the meeting is called to order, the majority can do so.
Mayor, can I speak to that just a little to clarify and maybe help everybody understand? That is true. If the Board of Commissioners cannot relinquish their duty and responsibility to take up policy matters as a majority sees fit at all of the meetings. So regardless of what the order says regarding conduct at the meeting, they will have the right to move forward with a majority vote to add or delete from the agenda.
Correct.
So even though
At
we're
the
taking
meeting.
that element out by language, by right, by statute, they retain that right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mhm. I don't know who had their hand up first, Commissioner Waldridge or Commissioner Tippett. I'm not sure. Commissioner Waldridge. Okay, Commissioner Waldridge.
Yeah, sure, no worries. My thing is, why would we as a commission want to put the new commission in the situation of making a 3 vote during a meeting to put something on the agenda? The goal for us is to be proactive, for us to let the staff know what we're bringing up and what we want on the agenda, to allow our staff to be prepared for any questions, concerns, pre meeting, not at the meeting where they say, oh, well, we don't have questions or answers on that. We don't have this and that. It's a professional way of doing things. And why take out that one line? That's, people voted these commissioners and the mayor in, and they have every right to help set an agenda. And why remove that? If it's a 3 vote, let's have a 3 vote before the meeting happens so people know what's going on and our staff is very well prepared.
Thank you. Commissioner Tippett.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Again, this is basic sort of civics in the city manager form of government. And Ms. Ross can disabuse me of these colloquial generalizations if I'm not correct, okay? And please feel free to do that. In this form of government that we have, 3 votes, the majority vote of the commission actually prevails and predominates over every procedure, okay? We use it colloquially as slang, and sometimes it gets us in trouble when we say 3 votes, okay? But that's how it works, and it can be any 3 commissioners with or without the mayor. It can be any 3 commissioners without the support or without the advice of the city manager. So whatever coalition of 3 commissioners decides to move, that can happen instantaneously. It can happen prior. Basically, again, colloquially, 3 votes on a commission sets the agenda.
Majority.
Right? Majority vote, right? And if I say anything wrong, Ms. Ross? Thank you.
Okay. And Commissioner Waldridge. Commissioner, your mic is muted.
Now can you hear me? Sorry, I think I double tapped it. You're good? Okay. I just don't understand what is the force of creating something for a new commission to come in. Yes, we can change it when we get there, but it's not in our privy to do that. We've already passed this once. Why are we doing it again? The new commission really needs to do this. And also the way that it's set up, we are a city manager ran government. And, you know, our city manager, our last city manager, not our interim, but our last city manager gets paid $140,000 to do his job and represent the city and work with the staff and know what's going on. And you, Mayor, and myself and some of the other commissioners, we get paid $15,000 to $20,000, $30,000, you know, and all of us, as we can say, and I can speak for myself, it's not a full-time job. It's as much as you put into it, but technically it's not an 8 to 5 where you're doing this every day, where you're knowledgeable. You know, I will speak on my experiences as city commissioner in the past 2 years. You know, some of us, including the mayor, are not available every single day, every single week, or even in pertinent times when our staff needs us. And, you know, for me, I mean, be honest, Mayor, I mean, there's sometimes meetings that you have to go to that you can't set in on, or we have to change because you do more lobbying for other people than this city. So in an instance sort of like that, I just don't see why the mayor, I'm not saying that the elect coming in will have the same issue. I hope not. I hope he's full into the city and can give us what the city deserves. But I just don't see the purpose of making this decision. I do have one quick question for city solicitor, please.
Go ahead.
Laura, I mean, you know, you've worked at KLC, you've come here, you've been a lawyer at KLC, you've been in this city for a while, you know, what is your honest and true, you know, advice in this situation of this commission trying to go ahead and set standards for a commission that's coming in 9 days and 6 hours? 9 days and 5.5 hours. Sorry, I got to keep time. And, you know, to set that, what do you really think about that? And that we would have to come back in January just to change it? I mean, should we even change it at all at this point, or just let the new commission handle it? Honestly, from a lawyer's perspective.
Mayor, I think that question's out of order for what's on the agenda.
No, I don't think so.
It's okay. I'm going to allow it. Commissioner Wisman. Ms. Ross.
I'll be honest, Commissioner, it puts me on the spot a little bit.
I'm sorry.
to give an answer that I'm not sure that there's I need to keep my comments to the legal perspective of it. It is legal for this Board of Commissioners to enact an order. It is also legal for the next board to absolutely turn around and come in and change it, because it will be their board and their procedures. So they do have that right, absolutely. If your question was more towards who normally sets the agenda, I can say it differs in city to city. We have 19 city managers, cities in Kentucky, and a lot of them the city clerk sets it, some the mayor, some the Board of Commissioners as a whole, some the city manager.
Okay.
Thank you.
Call for the question, Mayor.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
No.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisman,
Commissioner, I think your mic's muted.
Sorry, it muted itself. Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes. Next item is number 10, executive order authorizing a temporary waiver of the accrual maximum for holiday leave.
Mayor, can I just ask for clarification?
Yes, you may.
I believe this is an order that's been passed down from DC. Ms. Ross, can you elaborate on the impact of this? Or maybe Mr. Russell?
I'm happy to speak to it. I don't know anything about it being passed down from DC. I just know that it is something that we've seen particularly our public safety employees called upon to go above and beyond, even more than usual, of course, during this pandemic. This is a way to take that cap of 120 hours that they have to use what they spend above that or they lose it normally during the year, and give them a little extra time. We're waiving the 120 hours through the end of the declaration of emergency and giving them a little extra time to spend down some of those hours that they would accrue over 120.
Thank you. And Mr. Russell, would you state that given the nature of the duty and the requirement that's been put on our staff, that we know anecdotally, right, that these folks haven't been able to take their holiday time? They are working, covering shifts, doing all we can, and we were already short-staffed. Would that be your perception? Am I correct in my assumptions?
Absolutely, sir. Just because of minimum staffing requirements in public safety realms, those people are not able to get off work when they request off, because Chief Briscoe, Chief Adams, and a lot have minimum staffing requirements. So we're trying to help those people out going into the next year to cover the cap, to remove the cap, so they don't lose time.
I would hope, I'll just state that maybe the next commission might entertain a revision or a look back upon the amount of holiday leave and other time that might be lost in the end, that there might be some alternative payout of that holiday leave for the period of the emergency pandemic declaration if they're unable to use it for some reason because we don't have staffing coverage. But I'll move to approve, Mayor.
All right, moved by Commissioner Wisman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sauer. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes.
Mayor May.
Yes, item is adopted. Next, do we have any updates on our parks projects?
Mayor,
Commissioner Sauer,
we have number 11.
we passed over at the staff's request.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mayor, can I ask for a recess of like 7 minutes, maybe 10?
A motion for recess is, yes, you may, it's non-debatable. Is there a
Second.
motion in a second? All right, all those in favor, I'm just gonna let you roll call. It's only 5 members.
Okay. Commissioner Waldridge,
No.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Yes, and thank you.
Mayor May.
Yes, yes, thank you. Order, all members are present. Let's see, we were doing the Parks Projects update. Commissioner Sauer, I think you were asking did you have a question you wanted to ask? And you're muted.
You explained, Mayor, that item number 11 was set aside.
Oh, that was, okay. I didn't know. I thought maybe you had a question about the parks. Okay.
Yep.
And we have our Parks Director here, just in case. He showed up just for this one thing and no, okay. Well, thanks for being here. Good to see you. All right, we'll just move to the next item then. Unless you want to make a update. You don't have to.
I can if the commission would like me to, or not, or we can move on, either way.
Commissioner,
Is there anything we need to know? I mean, any developments? Just make it brief if you want.
Okay, yeah, no, nothing major. With Dolly, yeah, you just approved to rip out the new playground. Of course, that's contingent on final National Park Service approval, which we expect to come soon after the first of the year. But then we'll be working on multiple bids for restroom renovations, as well as the engineering and design plans for the splash pad. All that's in the works, and it's just like the playground. As soon as we get that official last, we're going to start zipping that stuff out and get going ASAP. Other than that, work is continuing at Fort Hill. Split rails are here tomorrow, actually. Dr. Stockman with WKU is starting his work right after Christmas. That contract's been signed and approved. Work continues at Capitol View. So we're rolling along.
Commissioner Sauer.
Yeah, Sean,
Mayor.
just to,
Sorry, Commissioner Tippett, did you have further? I apologize. You're locking up on me. That was the thing.
I just wanted a quick follow. I just wanted a quick follow-up, if I may.
Okay, you're kind of cutting in and out on us, so we may not be able to hear everything.
Do you have me now?
You are delayed. That's
Okay. I'll yield.
okay. Commissioner Sauer.
yeah,
Commissioner
just
Tippett, you might
Sean,
want to restart your camera feed. It might fix your delay.
Sean, just tell me again about the sewer system there for the entire park at Capitol View.
Yeah, the best to my knowledge, everything is moving along pretty smoothly. I talked to Kenny earlier. As you know, they're always sometimes hitting little small road bumps, but I don't think anything major has happened. I think we're on track. Kenny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're on track for getting things hooked up. And when COVID gets out of here, we're planning on big tournaments down there, hopefully, and we'll start rolling along. So.
Great, Commissioner Sauer. We lost your audio, Commissioner Sauer.
Mayor, can you hear me now?
Hang on, Scott.
We come back.
Okay.
I was asking about Branstetter Carroll and the meetings that you've had.
Yes, going right on schedule. Things have gone very smooth. We're extremely excited about the plan. The latest, I believe I sent everybody the latest information on the master plan, so you should have that. If not, it's on the parks website as well. But happy with things so far, pleased, and very excited about it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner,
Thank you.
Commissioner Tippett. And
You
you
Can you
go.
hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We can.
Just very quickly, I wanted to again reiterate one thing that this board has done very well is hire high quality people. I mentioned Ms. Boyd's financial acumen. She's outstanding, and of course, Director Pickens is her equal in his own field. The city is lucky to have their services, and I would just say thank you so much for your diligence, guys, and not only to you two guys, but all of the staff members who have labored diligently sometimes with the directives of this board. So my personal appreciation.
All right. All right, we'll move on to the next item. This would be sidewalks and street repairs. Was that for a report or just for questions? City Manager Russell.
Excuse me.
That's okay. Now, if you have a question, go ahead, Commissioner Sauer.
Yeah, in fact, it's directed to City Manager Russell. We talked earlier about the street repairs and so forth, and where we stood with Flynn Brothers. That's it, Flynn Brothers from Louisville.
Yes, sir. Miss Katie Beard is on the telephone. She had a conversation with them today. So I will let her expound on that, sir.
Good.
All right.
Sure. Sorry,
Oh,
I don't.
Thank you.
Working. Let me try it. There we go. Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm on the phone on my computer. So I did talk to Flynn Brothers, and they said they're probably wrapped up for this year. If there were an emergency or a very pressing problem that we needed addressed, or a project that we needed them to do, they would put that on their list and watch for some nice weather. But they generally are shut down for the year unless they have like a good stretch of nice weather for like a couple weeks. So we have probably completed everything for this season, and we'll pick back up with them in the spring. it's the same for Randall Davies as well.
All right. Commissioner Sauer, are you with us? Okay, there we go.
There we go. There we go. I missed that comment. I'm sorry, Katie.
Commissioner Sauer, your video feed is not working. You might want to restart that.
I think it is now. We're good now. Okay.
What Ms. Beard said was basically that both Flynn and Randall Davies would look for any warm weather opportunities to come in and do more, but right now, I guess weather's prohibitive. Is it? Well, there she is.
Yes, that's basically it. The weather has shut them down. They do own their own plant, so that if there were a really pressing project that needed to be done, they could open up the plant if the weather cooperated for a stretch, like a couple of weeks, that they could do that. But generally, they're probably out until nicer weather, closer to.
Katie, I had a constituent call about Desha Drive that maybe could be placed on next year's list. It's off of Lions Drive at the very end, if you know where that is, Desha Drive. So I'd like that to be on the plan for next year if we can't do something this year. Okay.
Okay.
While I've got you too, I'm not sure that Langford was done. I don't know if the cement contractor is still working or not, or if it's too cold to pour cement on Langford.
Yeah, the pavement was done. The sidewalk portion was not done. The weather is a little bit, or the concrete work is a little more forgiving. The weather, we might be able to continue a little more with that contractor, but it's something still on the list.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Tippett.
I would just like to thank Katie very much for the excellent work on Bluegrass and Grandma. That was pretty nasty over there, and the citizens were letting me know about it regularly, and you guys did a fabulous job. So thank you so much.
Thank you. No problem.
Commissioner Wissman. Commissioner Wissman, you are muted, sir.
Ms. Beard, I just was wondering if you could give us a sort of a percentage of completion of what you think and a time frame for spring for completion of the identified list that you had created of priority.
Yeah, we have done about a third of our list, and that was really mostly done in about. So I think once we get back to work in the spring, between then and June 30th, we should easily complete the list that we have right now. I think someone was just texting me that Deshay can also be completed as a part of the contract in the spring. But I think we'll be able to easily.
Terrific.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. I'll have a Dewey Court, Ms. Beard, I'll try to remember, but there's a small bridge or culvert there that has some problems. I just thought of, I'll try to send you an email to remember. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else on sidewalks and street repairs? Commissioner Sauer, thank you for helping make that I know it's one of your priorities. I'm sure the folks who live here and have to deal with the sidewalks in some of those areas, streets. Commissioner Tippett, thank you for bird dog and Grandma and that area. There were some bad spots over there. There sure were. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Beard, to you and your staff for all the wonderful work people here benefit from. All right, number 14. I'm sorry. Somebody say something. I heard something, but I don't know who said it.
Katie just
Anybody?
said thank you.
Oh,
Must be
okay.
your-
Got it. All right. Next item, Board of Commissioners, end of term comments, 5 minutes or less. Commissioner Waldridge, do you have any comments? Oh, I think Commissioner Waldridge might be frozen. Is your Commissioner Waldridge? I think you're frozen.
I think you're frozen, Commissioner. Can you hear us, Commissioner?
Bobby, can you contact Commissioner Waldridge, help her if you can hear me?
I am right now.
Okay,
Mayor, if it's appropriate, I could go ahead and do mine.
that would be fine. Go ahead, Commissioner Tippett.
Bobby, are you still, well, Bobby,
I think he's probably on the phone with her.
okay.
Commissioner
I was-
Walker said, she said,
Bobby-
go ahead. She's gonna go last.
Okay, Bobby, can you put my,
Go in order. We're going in order.
okay,
That's okay. No,
so is Commissioner Waldridge is going now, Mayor?
yes, that's just typically we go down from right to left, or
Yeah, Mayor, if we can just wait for her,
oh wait,
I think that's appropriate.
that's the tradition. And as Mayor Pro Tem, you get to do your remarks first. We used to do that at the end of the live meetings.
We're trying to get her reconnected, Mayor.
Okay. Gosh, it's been so long since we've done a live meeting. I'm sitting there trying to envision in my head what that was like beforehand.
Hey, Bobby,
Agree.
Yes, sir.
did you have my presentation ready to go when
You
you?
got a presentation.
I
Wow.
do.
Well, it's not really a presentation. It's just a text.
That's okay.
But I like,
Yeah, we made a PDF out of it. That's okay.
Okay, well. Okay, let's see, Commissioner Waldridge. There she is. All right, Commissioner Waldridge. Think we're good?
I think, can you hear me?
We're good.
Yeah, it looks okay. All right, great, thanks. Thank you, thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Commissioner Waldridge, did you have any comments you would like to make tonight?
Oh, yes, am I going first? Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, thanks. I would like to say, first and foremost, I've been honored to serve these past 2 years. It has been a pleasure. It's been an honor, to serve in the manner that I ran my campaign on, which was very simple: transparency and being trustworthy to the community. And so I have done that.
Oh no, did we lose her?
I think she's frozen again, Mayor.
Oh. Well, one of the technical problems.
Her internet is out. She asked to be put at the back of the rotation.
Is our internet completely out, Bobby? Like some, what do you mean?
It's fluctuating. It's going in and out.
Oh,
She asked
okay.
she asked to be, if you could go ahead with it. She's gonna
Well,
restart stuff.
Okay. I will, when she comes back on. Commissioner Tippett? We'll skip down.
Okay, Bobby, if you can you put my text up, please? All right. If you guys will bear with me, I'm going to thank you. This is the text, and I'll submit this to the record, Jermaine, too, when we're done, okay? So the public can read along with me. An examination of the City Commission's body of work over the past 4 years, and I'm saying 4 years, less than my 2 terms, will reveal a list of accomplishments, beginning with this board's work in nurturing the revitalization of downtown Frankfort. This rebirth is seen through projects such as the redevelopment of the Captain Plaza area, which includes parcels B and C, as well as a Tiger grant for 2nd Street corridor and expanding private businesses. City Commission has also worked hard to ensure that Frankfort Plant Board is governed by a balanced board of directors. Additionally, the city has been able to work with the FPB to resolve the issues surrounding the construction of the new reservoir, reaching an agreement between the FPB, the City of Frankfort, that ensures that we have the necessary water supply for our community, while also protecting the residents of the Tanglewood neighborhood. Another accomplishment, which I am particularly proud of, was one of my top priorities when I was sworn into office 4 years ago. This park will now become a state-of-the-art facility that our community deserves. Additionally, in that area, the city's work with the First Corinthian Church to help move their community life center closer to being reality will greatly help improve the quality of life for the residents in the area, one of my top priorities. Finally, I'm proud of how this board has increased financial support for our community partners whose work supports our more vulnerable citizens, including the Women's Shelter, King Center, Senior Activity Center, and the Soup Kitchen. We have worked both with the Franklin County and Franklin Independent Schools to give their students access to the latest technology and to the Humane Society. The Humane Society will benefit from our pledge of $1 million to help with the funding of their new facility. Mr. Marcus's presentation was propitious. This Board of Commissioners has worked hard to improve our community, and I believe we are leaving our community in a better position for the future growth and improvement. I sincerely wish the new board and mayor continued success in the years to come. Even though I'm leaving my position as a city commissioner, I pledge to continue serving this community that I love so dearly. Thank you. Tippett out.
Very good, Commissioner. Is Commissioner Waldridge back yet? All right, well, she may not be able to get back on. All right, next we have, let's see. Help me, City Clerk, is it Commissioner Wisman? Commissioner Wisman?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. You know, it's been a life's goal of mine to ascend to this position, and it's not lost on me. You know, I was born and raised in this community and grew up quite poor in Bald Knob as a child, but for the stance that the city is the capital city of Kentucky, and for the employees and the staff of the state and all of the embodied institutional knowledge and education and access to so many resources and wonderful mentors, it's not lost upon me that I've been able to make quite a trajectory in life, even at this age. And I have to mention for role models such as yourself, Mayor, growing up with your son, and you being on every field trip I ever had through middle school, and Judge Wells as well as my middle school principal, and delivering newspapers in the Capitol as a toddler with my aunt. You know, all of those things really have shaped and formulated my abilities and my mind, and I'm thankful for all of that and all that this town has given me. And it's been my absolute honor to serve in this capacity over the last 2 years, to serve and to continue to do so. as we're sort of symbolically here tonight at the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, we've been through a lot of difficulty over the last 9 months and even over the last 2 years as this body. But I have to hope that the days are going to get a minute longer every day from now on, that we're on an up switch, an uptick, right? And maybe that's symbolic. So I want to wish everyone a happy winter solstice and a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. But it has been quite the unexpected time to serve. I never expected when I signed up that we would be going through a worldwide pandemic and all that would entail and encompass, and how it would affect every position and every action and duty. But I am proud of our activities and all that we've been able to accomplish in our roles, and very proud to call the majority of you friends and colleagues that I'm exiting with. So I would just ask that everyone remember, the new coming commission, that we are community stewards and we're not perfect. We try our best given the time frame and the circumstance of the world that we're serving in at the moment, to fulfill our duties and to maintain our fiduciary responsibilities and to best serve our community. I know we all have goals and priorities. It's important upon us always to set aside our own personal biases and our own egos, if you will, and make sure we serve our community as best as we possibly can and make the decisions that are going to benefit the broader community as much as possible, even though those decisions are sometimes very unpopular or misunderstood. I've always been proud to make sure that every decision I've made is made with a broader spectrum of scope for the broader community than my own personal agendas. I don't regret a single decision I've made, and I would do everything again. And I am proud of all of the accomplishments, the hurdles, if you will, the projects that this commission in the last 2 years has been able to knock out, things that have languished for 20 plus years since I was a teenager in this community. I'm proud to have been able to be part of this body that have systematically removed some of those hurdles so that we can focus on the future of this community. And just to pledge that I'm not going anywhere. I hope to come back to this body at some point in time in the future. Perhaps I have the benefit of youth here, that I can do that. And I hope to continue to serve this community as best as I can through many other roles, through organizations that I belong to in the community and beyond. So I just want to thank the community who voted for me for the opportunity to serve. And fortunately, I'm not going to continue this term, but know that I will still be here and still working to serve my fellow citizens who've instilled so much into me and given me so many opportunities in this community. So thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. All right, we have Commissioner Waldridge back. Maybe not. All right, I think Bobby's made her a presenter, so she should be able to be on. All right, Commissioner, can you hear us? We cannot hear you right now. Okay, let me.
Perhaps Commissioner Waldridge can use her phone to finish up the meeting.
That's what she's trying to do. All right. Well, I guess while we continue to work on those, I'll go ahead and recognize Commissioner Sauer. Commissioner Sauer, do you have any comments you would like to make, sir?
I do, Mayor. Thank you. Bring a somber tone to this meeting. Before I take leave of this commission, I wish to clarify claims of lack of transparency regarding the discharge of former city manager Keith Parker. I'm not going to deal in specific reasons for his discharge, but I'm going to explain why there was no public detail provided as to those reasons. It's really very simple. Our hands as a commission were tied. Our hands were tied by lawyers. What lawyers? Not only our own, but also by Keith Parker's lawyer. Let me explain. The lawyers talked, and the commission was instructed that any public discussion of the specific reasons I had for would result in a lawsuit by Parker's attorney. As a result of this, much speculation and hundreds of staff hours of public record requests ensued. This was fueled in part by Mr. Parker himself in his public comments when he, above all others, knew the truth. He took advantage of the fact that our hands were tied. The State Journal knew too, from the start, that because of lawyers, we could not be more transparent. The State Journal is in business of selling newspapers, and we've sold a lot of newspapers since August the 10th for them, and I hope they send us a thank you card. Other people went after this issue in hopes of political gain. But for me, it is the public who needs to understand the situation that we all faced. It should also be publicly known that the city manager's contract provides for termination for no reason whatsoever, with notice and payment of a severance package, which includes a very handsome sum for months, as well as benefits paid to Mr. Parker. He is receiving all of these. Also, at the time his contract was signed, a term of it to which he agreed was the waiver of any public hearing for himself. I'm not going to provide any details as I honor the directive given to us and the confidentiality of personnel matters. However, if any future commission looks to reinstate Mr. Parker or any other person as city manager, they should first investigate them thoroughly. Thank you. Thank you to each member of the commission and the public that we serve.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner
Can
Waldridge.
you hear me now?
We can hear.
Oh gosh, so you can hear me. Yes.
All right, we've lost Commissioner Waldridge again.
Are we there?
We're here.
Okay, they can hear me now. It let me unmute. It just wouldn't let me unmute for some reason. And I'm on the city hotspot now and not Frankfort. Okay. Okay.
Commissioner.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, please. Thanks. Okay. Sorry. Do I just pick up where I was at? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
I've been hearing somewhat with Bobby in the background, but so I didn't really share a whole lot. I don't need the whole 5 minutes. I just, I'm honored. I appreciate serving. I appreciate the community being able to come back and re-elect me once again, and the vote of confidence in my leadership, though it's been challenged by this board on several occasions. But my true authentic self is that I'm very transparent, honest and loyal. And when I joined and I asked you for your vote and campaign with you, it was to truly represent you as the citizens. It wasn't a gain in my book. It wasn't a gain in my pocket. It wasn't a gain of anything moving forward except for a gain for Frankfort, for you to have someone that is just like you, a citizen who cares about Frankfort and who wants to move forward and wants to move Frankfort forward. So I'm honored. I'm ecstatic that you have elected me once again as the top vote getter again. It is an honor. I'm very humbled. I have enjoyed learning city government with this staff. Amazing staff. We can't say enough about them. As all the commissioners have shared, the staff are amazing and they have taught me so much. I appreciate them being at the beck and call of asking dumb questions I have often, because I do my research and want to know and want to learn from them, because they are amazing staff. I have truly, it's been an honor to serve with our solicitor, Ms. Ross. You are simply amazing, and I know that the community may not know all that you do, but you truly hold this city together, and we truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate you, and no matter what, you know, I know that Keith appreciated you when he was here, and you know, I know that you never asked for compensation, and he did give you a little bit of a raise that you said no to, kept saying no, but you deserve so much more than a little bit of raise that he was able to give you. And so, you know, if there was any negativity toward Keith doing that, I think that we as a commission should have done so much more for you. But thank you for the long hours and the time and the stress that you've endured by this commission. We truly appreciate you, and I do. And I'm so glad that you have stuck through this, because I don't know I would have if I was in your position. So thank you. Shermaine, thank you so much. You are amazing. You are always there, and you are always picking up the puzzle pieces for us on agenda day and getting things out. And really, you have been, a lot of wrongs are dumped on you, right? And they're not in your favor, right? And so I want to say thank you just for being a strong woman that you are, to take some of that you have taken, knowing that it's not your fault, but you still stood strong as loyalty to this commission and to this city, and continuing to do the hard work that you've done. And I truly appreciate it. I know you've been up through medical issues and things of that nature, and you still worked hard. And thank you for doing all of the open records requests that our commission and the State Journal, it has been wearing on you. So thank you. I appreciate it. If I could do more for you, I would. But I do appreciate Tommy and the commission approving your raise, because I think you deserve so much more, and it should have been done a long time ago. To each and every one of the staff members, you guys, you mean so much to me. I know that I may not do as much for you, but the little messages I do send to you on a monthly basis and stuff, you truly mean a lot to me. You're special. You guys have really done well in this city. I want to say that I just appreciated serving alongside Keith Parker, who has shown so much love and respect for this city, who have done so much for this city, who has stood up and been the city manager that we needed in this time. The fact that he was able to raise the morale of our staff and actually allow the staff to do what they know they're to do, it's been amazing to learn from him in that. So I think the dominoes fell where they needed with him being our city manager. So it was a great loss to the city. But I enjoyed working with such a man that was wanting so much for his community and willing to go through all of the stuff that he was going through and still serve. But I just want to say thank you. I know I'm coming up on my time, but it has been a pleasure serving Frankfort. You know, guys, I know we've served. It's been, it was ups and ups. And then I think we're sort of ending on lows. Some I still respect, some others not so much, but it is what it is. I did have one thing to show. I think Bobby is going to share that with everyone. Oh, sorry.
Bobby, are you able to position?
Yes. Is it showing? Is it showing now? Okay. So as I ended my other, I just wanted to end in fireworks. So. All right, I'm going to unshare. So there we go. Thank you. So I just wanted to end on fireworks. I promised fireworks at the beginning of my term. I think we've had several duds. So I did not want to leave my community and the public disappointed on the fireworks, because we've had too many duds in the last year. So there's just some fireworks to go out on. So I look forward to 2021 with some amazing people who have great integrity, I believe, and transparency. And we're going to get some things done in 2021 and 2022 under the leadership of a great mayor, Mr. Wilkerson. So thank you, and looking forward to serving you again. Thank you for your vote.
All right, thank you. Did you have any further? Is that it? Commissioner Walder, any more comments?
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, it's been 29 years for me. It's been a long journey from when we started. I just want to thank all of our wonderful staff that we've served with over the years. Without you, we can't make all these things happen. You know, starting, I guess I was 32 when I started, and as Commissioner Westman said, taking our children on field trips. Commissioner, I forget, you'd have been like 8 or 9 at that point. So watching you all grow up and then having the honor to get to serve with you is very special to me, because you caught on very quickly on how government worked and how it works, rather. So I just want to say a special word to you to having had that opportunity to watch you guys over the years grow, mature, and your leadership and the things that you've done to help this community, and will continue to help. It's very important. And I'll say something about the rest here in a second, but again, you know, it's really hard to be leaving during an emergency situation and to pass that over to someone else. It's very hard, but I know that our staff will be there to help. And I've told Mayor-elect Wilkerson that if he needs anything, I'm just a phone call away. I won't be looking over his shoulder, but I'm always glad to help. I feel like I've lost the last 2 years of my term, my final term, due to health issues and this pandemic. So many of the things that I wanted to try to do this last bit were, unfortunately, we couldn't. But I will say too, it's been an honor to serve over these last few years. I've always served with an integrity and a desire to help our community, to always do what was in the best interest of the community. And I've never forgotten that you elected me to serve you. You know, looking back at a lot of the accomplishments that this last commission has done, compared to what, as Commissioner Westman says, it takes a long time to get things done. Sometimes we've got 5 members on a board. We've got to try to get 3 together to agree on things, and that's not always easy. But looking at some of the things I think, you know, I'm most proud of, we changed our meeting times to make those more in line with letting the public have more opportunity to be involved in their commission meetings. Opened up a lot of transparency issues that I'm proud to have worked on over the years, and the establishment of additional industrial parks. We had one when I started, and was able to be part of those additional ones. That was something that was really exciting to watch the community grow. Public safety has always been an issue for me, but I feel like we've made Frankfort safer with more police and fire personnel over the years, and given them better equipment, modernized a lot of the equipment in the fire department. As our city manager, Mr. Russell, will say, when I started, we had a van that was our rescue truck, and that rescue truck would hardly get up Louisville Road Hill. And now we've got a whole rescue operation. And actually, Mr. Russell was over that when he retired from the fire department. So he knows. Anyway, the environmental initiatives that we've seen happen, we've made Frankfort greener and healthier, done a lot of drainage projects in neighborhoods, continued to support senior citizens and children's issues, to make it a great place to live. And one of the things I'm really proud of is diversifying our boards and commissions. You know, the youth soccer fields, the football fields, the baseball fields, and bicycle trails at Capitol View Park are something that I'm really proud of. The Fort Hill Civil War Park expansion and preserving that. Cove Spring Park, and you know, at the top, Dolly Graham Park is something that we've worked on for the last 4 or 5 years. And unfortunately, I won't be there to see it as mayor finished, but you know, it was awarded during our term. So I think we can all be happy that that finally got done. And as Commissioner Tippett said, the Community Life Center for First Corinthians is something that we've all wanted to see happen. One of the biggest things, I guess, was the Family Aquatic Center. That's a huge project for our community. And the Tiger Grant, some funding for the Humane Society to get a new building, funding the YMCA. We expanded the sewer department, sewer plant from 6.6 million to 9.9, and that allows for the growth in the community. And our financial position has increased over the years, and having an all-time high of the largest surplus in history while keeping taxes low, I think is something really important. But again, you know, looking back, all the people that have been with me over the years that helped me get here, obviously my mom and dad were big influences in my life, and I miss them dearly. And it was important having their support over the years and helping me get to where I am. Obviously, my wife Jenny, with her steadfast support through all of this, has done more than her share of weathering these situations where I have to be out for city business and emergencies. And you know, she's been a big part of helping me be able to do what I can do. And in fact, as our First Lady, you know, she's been an awesome asset to us, and just appreciate all that work. And our children, William and Kelly, tremendous to watch them grow over the years and see them run around City Hall as children, and now having a granddaughter who got to run in City Hall for a little bit until we had to shut things down. And Kelly's wife, Brittany, have all been supportive. My mother-in-law and father-in-law have always been there to support us, and we're still glad to have our, you know, mother-in-law, Jenny's mom, and sisters and sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws, all those folks. Our wonderful department heads and our city staff, our city clerk, and our city attorney work very closely with the mayor during the term. Gone through numerous changes over the years. Tom Russell for stepping up and serving as our city manager these last few months has been incredible to see the amount of work that you've been able to help get through and get accomplished, and we're still seeing those accomplishments. Again, our department heads and our city staff are the ones that get out and make things work on a daily basis. We can't do anything without helping, without recognizing the fact that they're the ones that really make everything work. Our emergency management staff under former emergency management director Darren Rambo helped us go from a small agency, we're still small, but to modernize the agency. And our current director was a deputy director then too, and for him to step up and take over, it's just tremendous what we've accomplished there, what they've accomplished, and Mark Wood and Ray Kinney as deputies. I can never begin to thank you all for the amount of time and work that you all have put in. People don't realize all the work that our staff puts in, but emergency management never stops. It's 24/7. One of us is always out and available to be there to help the public, to help our first responders, keep them safe. That's, people don't realize the emergency management also works to keep our responders safe and make sure they have the tools that they need. But again, even our media partners, you know, with our helping our State Journal and our local radio station and our other TV stations for helping us get the message out when we have emergencies. We have to get word out to everyone. We appreciate that work as well. The last 29 years have been special. I will never forget them. I've had a lot of opportunities to do some things that I wouldn't have been able to do if it weren't for that. But again, thanks to everyone for your support. Commissioners elect, we wish you success in what you do. Mayor-elect Wilkerson and I've talked regularly and wish him success. A special thanks to, again, to Commissioner Sauer, Commissioner Tippett, and Commissioner Wilson for their service. We're all going out together, so I want to focus on you guys for a minute. We have, in this commission, in this 2-year period, even though we lost a lot of the things that we wanted to be able to do due to the pandemic, in this period, I would say, looking back at over the years, we've accomplished so very much here, and I appreciate your all's leadership in bringing the projects forward that you brought forward this past year. You know, Commissioner Wisman, with your Parks Master Plan idea, some of your and historic preservation issues. Same with Commissioner Tippett, historic preservation issues, supporting Dolly Graham and the Community Life Center in South Frankfort, to name a few. Commissioner Sauer, I've known you the longest. Your father was a mentor to me when I ran the first time. Your mother and father did a lot of handwritten letters. We went back when you did the old school campaigning. So it was very important to say how much I appreciated them too. Y'all are like family, I appreciate that. And to get to serve with you has been a huge honor. Same with the rest of you all. But you know, your last projects here with the lighting at the Capitol View Park, helping try to push some more priorities on street and sidewalk repair. I know was important for you again, and your support for Dolly Graham and Community Life Center again were very important. And I'm going to miss this opportunity to serve the community, but like I said, I'll still be here. Again, thank you all so very much for your leadership and all the things that we've done. I wish we could do some more groundbreakings in person. That's something that I really miss, but you know, maybe we can pull something together next week for Dolly Graham. We'll see. But again, it's been my honor to serve this community, and I'll never forget it. And you know, my love to all of you all for helping us get to this point. Commissioner Sauer, you want to be recognized?
Yes, just a point of personal privilege, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I have something for you. A resolution naming the City of Frankfort Public Safety Building as the William I. May Jr. Public Safety Building. Whereas William I. May Jr. has served as mayor of the City of Frankfort for a combined total of 21 years, and a city commissioner of the City of Frankfort for a combined total of 8 years. And whereas during his lengthy service to the city, Mayor May has shown unwavering commitment to the City of Frankfort police and fire departments and emergency management, continuously promoting the growth and success of the city's public safety programs. And whereas as mayor and head of emergency management efforts, Mayor May has led the city through some of the most difficult crises in the recent history of our community, providing leadership through at least 13 federally declared disasters, including the COVID-19 global pandemic. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of the City of Frankfort now wishes to honor Mayor May's longstanding dedication to public safety causes within the city, now therefore it be resolved by the City of Frankfort Board of Commissioners as follows. The City of Frankfort Public Safety Building is hereby renamed the Mayor William I. May Jr. Public Safety Building. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's my honor to second.
Okay. Okay, motion by Commissioner Sauer and second by Commissioner Wisman. Now I don't feel so bad that you had your hand up. I was thinking I was going to say a few more things, but now I don't think I can. Wow. Is there any discussion on that?
Mayor, I would like to say a few things.
Commissioner Wissman.
Yeah, Mayor, you know, you've done a lot for this community, and like I said earlier, it's been my honor to call you as a friend and to gain such a friendship and a mentor over this term. You know, there's a lack of understanding in the community about the unique challenges that face the capital city regularly, and as a capital city, some of the threats that are constantly posed to our town. And even though I've disagreed with you on some issues, I think you've been a steadfast community servant during your period of time. You have served with dignity and a focus, particularly for the emergency response personnel, always at the forefront of our community. You know, there's not a day that goes by that when I hear the sirens go off downtown that I don't say a little prayer in my mind for whoever's going to, whatever they're going to face, to make sure that those people are safe and know that they put their lives on the line every day. So the testament that the public safety building, even though I disdain the architectural design, but the service of that building to our community is paramount given our status as a capital city. There's no one more fitting for the accolade that you're being awarded. I asked City Manager Russell to come up with this, and I believe some other members of the staff or the commission, had already asked the same thing. So I appreciate that he coordinated this for a vote for us. But your accolades, as read, serve on their own. Your award from the NAACP locally is the President's Award. Your program, Coats for Kids, that have literally put the coats on the backs of thousands and thousands of children and kept them warm in the winters in our community, are all very dignified and serve to express your commitment to our community. It's obviously known the personal sacrifice that this position takes, even in a short term, but for a nearly 30-year period. I know well the financial and personal growth that could have happened if not for your dedication to our community. I'm proud to call you a friend and a mentor, and I have to say that I don't think there's never been a more decent person to serve a community, and I think that shows in your 29 years of service that the community has placed you into this leadership position, and regardless of those that might say otherwise, that shows merit in its own right. So thank you for your service to our town.
Thank you, Commissioner. So much. Commissioner Tippett?
Yeah, Mayor, thank you. We go way back. I won't mention the Jive Turkey Band, or the worst lead guitarist in the face of the earth. But you were always a great musician, and you still are. But you're more than that, Mayor. We have disagreed on policy many times, but you know, the thing that I've tried to do is not be disagreeable or disparage people because we disagreed, and you are the best parliamentarian I think I have ever seen. You know Robert's Rules of Order. You know how to run the government. You know, and it's just time, I think. It's time for this community to learn grace and compassion. This bitterness is not becoming us. This vitriol is not becoming us. We can disagree without being disagreeable. And I have tried to exercise that to the best of my ability, Mayor, and you, sir, have done it well. You know, I've said this many times. In my first term, I can't recall voting with you. You know, I can't. You know, but we still were able to maintain that civility and that relationship that we started, you know, 30, 40 years ago in high school. And that's to your good credit, sir. I'm not sure I could comport myself as well as you did suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous politics, and you've had to endure it. Now, that doesn't mean you're above criticism, but you've received more than your share of criticism, and probably some of it is justified. But kudos to you, sir. Anybody who can serve the community that long and that faithfully deserves an honor. And when the roll is called, I will vote yes. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sauer. Oh, you're muted, sir.
Commissioner Tippett, you talked about the bands and so forth. Did you ever grow up again next to somebody that played drums very loudly through all hours of the night? And let me give you a definition of class, Scott. Class is Bill May. You criticized him. You had disagreements with him. I ran a campaign against him in 2016. It was a negative campaign. And looking back on that, I apologize for that, Mayor, to you, to your family. And class, Scott, is defined by Bill and how he welcomed me back to the city commission. I respect his leadership, his knowledge of city government. Nobody knows it better than Bill May. Nobody, I like history like you do, Scott. Nobody has served longer in a dedicated, nonstop situation, going from city commissioner to mayor, to city commissioner, mayor, to city commissioner to mayor. Nobody can hold a candle to that. And I thank you for your service, Bill. And I thank you for welcoming me back to the city commission and for giving me in my last campaign.
Of course.
Thanks.
Thank you. Because that's just beautiful. I don't have anything else to say other than thank you.
Before we tear up, I call for a question on the motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner
I
Walsh.
think Commissioner Walridge has her hand up, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Waldridge.
I just wanted to say, I know this is a position that you're elected in and you do give your time. So where your time has been spent, I would appreciate that you've donated your time to the community of serving. I would have to say in the years prior to 2018, I, knew of you, seen you at a few events briefly, and knew some of the things that you were doing, and, seemed to respect you as mayor. I do definitely wish you the very best in your future endeavors. And I guess, with our relationship starting in the fall of 2018, it sort of turned, but neither here nor there. There were times that we agreed and there are times that we've not agreed. But I just hate to say it, I just don't agree with this. I think there's many other people that this particular building should be named after, like veterans, especially this particular building, because it does mean so much, especially given in a pandemic. And I just think that it should call it Veterans Building for Public Safety, or after Tim Evans, who was the longest serving chief of police, who came in and modernized our police department, a long time for police, and then turned things around to make it a more community policing environment for our community. But I don't agree with it, but I appreciate your time that you've given. As I see, it does take a lot of time, and definitely the salary isn't rewarding at all for that, but being able to donate your time, I can definitely appreciate that, given some of the hard times that you've had up and down, but just haven't agreed with everything that you have done as a leader. And But, do wish you the very best in your endeavors and lobbying and all the things that you'll continue to do moving on. I did respect you as far as the coat drive. I think Mr. Wisman brought that up. I think it was very respectful in the community to help always keep our children warm, as I see other people are now taking lead from you and continuing to keep our community warm. I would say that, wish we'd had a better, I guess, relationship, or maybe working relationship, I could say, but it has taught me a lot more on continuing to be the leader that I am and being a transparent leader that I am. But I do wish you the very best in your endeavors, to you and your wife, and look forward to working with your son on this, and hope that he will be a great leader on this commission. But I just don't agree with the building at this time. Thank you.
Question has been called for, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Sauer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
No, I'll explain. I think that this particular building needs to be named after someone else that has given definitely time to this building, not one that has put another $7 million on top of it. And someone that doesn't show up to support the police department on a day of police rally in Frankfort. I just don't believe that. I believe it should be after the veterans. So I'm going to have to say no.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisman,
It's my honor to vote yes.
Commissioner Sauer,
Absolutely, yes.
Mayor May.
I am going to not vote on this. I guess I'm just going to vote present and explain my vote of present. Just want to say special thanks again to all those who have served our community, either elected officials or appointed officials. The public safety building was a project that was very important to me over the years. Took a lot of effort to get to that point, and we had a lot of, again, it was not one person, it was everyone working together. We shouldn't forget our dispatch division too, because they are an integral part of public safety, and can tell you that they are faced with a lot of stressful situations, and they always rise to the occasion. And I appreciate them so much dearly. It's a team effort: emergency management, dispatch, police, fire, EMS, the rescue, and then all the other folks that work with them. Public works, sewer department, planning, our finance division, our parks and recreation folks are all. Hope I didn't leave some liquor department out. Are always there to pitch in and help this community. It's been our number one goal, and keeping everyone safe is important. I'll always be available to help if needed. I know they don't need extra help, but I'm always happy to be an extra body if we need to. But again, Commissioner Sauer, thank you for that surprise resolution. And Commissioner Wisman and Commissioner Tippett, for your support. That you have no idea how much this means to me, and our emergency management director and our deputy directors, our police chief, our fire chief, and our I guess our dispatch is under police, but our terminal agency coordinators, head of dispatch. Thank you all so very much. And this is one of the biggest honors of my life. And I really appreciate it more than you can know. Thank you again for your service and for serving with honor, distinction, and the Class C gentleman that you are. I guess, Director Russell, I didn't realize, I guess I've never really sat down to see how many emergency declarations and disasters I've been a part of, and that's not something to be proud of course, but to be able to have been part of helping, those of us that do that, it's a calling, and people don't really understand it. But again, to all the frontline folks who make this wall work, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we'll probably have to have one more meeting because we passed over item number 11. So I guess we'll have to have a short meeting or two to get those things done. But again, thank you all. You'll never know how much I appreciate you all for this honor. And to all the folks that have worked so hard to make this 29 years so special. Thank you all. Oh yeah, and it is a huge honor to get to see my son Kelly get to serve. I had the honor to swear him in. I think, you know, Commissioner Sauer knows what that's like to have a father that was a mayor, but then he got to be a commissioner and a mayor too. But I got to actually swear my son in. I mean, that's something that is extremely rare and something I'll just treasure beyond words. And having my wife and my daughter-in-law, my granddaughter there to be part of that, that's just huge. So Commissioner Walters, good luck with your new term with the new commission. We look forward to the accomplishments to be made by the new commission. So we support those efforts. Again, thank you all, Commissioner Sauer, Commissioner Wisman, Commissioner Tippett, for this great honor for voting for that. So I guess that passes on a 3 to whatever and 1. I don't know how to count present, but thank you.
Move to adjourn,
I
Mayor.
move to adjourn.
Moved by Commissioner Tippett,
Second.
second by Commissioner Commissioner Waldridge. Any discussion? See none. Clerk, please call the roll. We'll do a voice vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, yes.
City Clerk, did you actually call?
You see your mouth moving.
I didn't.
So, Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Waldridge,
There you go. Yes.
Commissioner Tippett,
Yes.
Commissioner Wisman,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauer.
I'd like to explain my vote.
You may.
I'm voting yes, but I'm available anytime next week, Mayor, for another meeting.
Thank you.
Mayor May.
Yes, again, thank you all so very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Mayor,